Hi everyone, welcome to Management 650. It's week 3. My name is Helen and I'm going to be providing you with an example for homework problem 6. Homework problem 6 deals with data time series plots. A data time series plot displays numerical values over time. So we're looking at patterns of numerical data over time. Now, as you could probably imagine, time can be depicted in years, in months, in weeks, in days, hours or minutes, seasons or quarters. And quarters would be financial periods, so any financial period. And I think it's very important for us to take just a few minutes to discuss the benefits of creating a data time series plot. One of the benefits is identifying financial performance trends. We can see that we have a data time series plot of Microsoft earnings. Our quarters are listed along the bottom and the horizontal axis, and our dollar amounts are listed along the vertical axis from top to bottom. As we can see, from the first quarter to the second quarter, our earnings or our profits went up. And then as we went from second to third, they went down, and they went down from third to fourth. So when we see performance like this, we want to keep an eye on it. We want to look at to the degree that it went down. In this case, it didn't go down so much, but it did go down. Is this just a normal business blip in business performance, or is it a long-term trend? So these can provide us with very, very important data over time for our company, or if we're going to purchase a stock. Another key area where we find value in the data time series plot is determining staffing. We don't want to spend too much money on staffing, but we don't want to cut back on service. So we plot out when, say we have a hotel, when do we get the most guests in? What time of day? If we have a healthcare center, when do we receive the most patients during a day? How do we need to staff for this? So we plot this out maybe on an hourly basis over time, and we see when indeed we have a need for more staffing and when we can cut back on staffing. That's very valuable. Another area where we can control costs is inventory control. Today, many manufacturers practice just-in-time manufacturing. Maybe our major client is going to manufacturing in March, but we really don't want to be purchasing those materials in November, because then they're going to be, we're just going to be holding them. That's an expense we really don't need. So by tracking when we're going to be manufacturing, we can tell when we're going to incur the costs of the products that we have to put into what we're manufacturing. And of course, we track seasonal sales. If you're an HVAC servicing company, you're going to be busier during the summer, May, June, August, September, but maybe you can go on vacation in December. So if you track your sales over seasons, maybe over months, you will be able to tell when you're incurring your profits and when you can take time off. So there's many different ways that you can value from a data time series plot, and those are just a few of them. Now, we'll get to our problem. We're going to identify when you should create a data time series plot. And our question is, are the following data time series? If not, explain why. So we first talked about quarterly earnings of Microsoft. We know that indeed that is a data time series plot. We're dealing with financial periods, we're dealing with quarters, and we're dealing with consecutive periods over time. Our next one is unemployment in August 2010 by educational level. Well, we're talking about August 2010, that's just one date, so we're not talking about dates over time. And in addition, we're talking about educational level, which is not numerical data, it's categorical data. So this would not qualify as a data time series plot. I did make an example of this. It's for 2013, but it gives you an idea. I made a bar graph for this, and it does show how I would depict that data, but it is not a data time series. It is indeed a bar graph. So we'll say a no to that. And then time spent in training by workers in NUCO. And on that might be confusing too, because it's time spent in training. So what I did was I set up a histogram, and it showed how many times I would train for an hour, how many times we trained for 2 hours, 3 hours, and so forth. And that I created in an histogram. You have your frequencies along the vertical axis, you have your numerical primary data along the horizontal axis. So you have the number that of times it occurs, or the frequencies. You also call them cases, along the vertical axis, and then you have your hours along the horizontal axis. But that is not a time data series, so that's a no as well. We'll put that one aside. The number of emails sent by employees of Cinco each hour in a single day. Well, that is definitely a data time series plot. We have one business day. We're tracking the number of emails sent by employees in Cinco over one day. And we can see that at 7 a.m. no one sent any emails, and by the time we get to 10 a.m., that's when most of the emails or the highest number of emails are sent. So as you can see, it's pretty consistent, goes down a little bit at lunch, goes back up, and by 8 o'clock nobody's sending any emails. So we get an idea for that particular day how many emails are being sent and from our employees. And if it's important that they're sending emails, that gives you an idea of how your employees are spending their day. So that gives you an idea of examples of a data time series plot. To review, in a data time series plot, we're looking at patterns of data over time. It should be consecutive time data, not just one snapshot in time, and we are dealing with numerical data. So I hope that helps you. If you have any questions at all, your tutors and your professors are here to help you. So please don't hesitate to ask.